Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddie, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
Happy. I'm so happy. What's going on, fellas?
I have lost my voice.
So it was like, so that's why I was like, why is it wet? And so legally, I probably shouldn't be talking about this anymore.
Right. Yes, we have hit the record button, so you shouldn't be talking about that any longer.
Oh, okay. Ooh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you okay with that?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, good.
To all the listeners last week, I apologize if my microphone was extremely loud and extremely muffled at the same time. So I'm going to try to do better.
Preston.
No.
Turn
No, it was okay. It was okay. It was just fine, Brian.
Preston, turn my
Adam's making fun of I have no in-studio producer this week. He's off at a basketball game.
You might be better off then.
And Doug is
here
with
in
us
studio
tonight because he volunteered to watch a friend's dog. Somehow ended up at the emergency vet tonight because the dog ate a sock. But don't worry, it wasn't his sock. So no further questions. That's all I got to say.
The sock had one of those sticker balls in it, I heard, so it was not good on the way down, and it's not going to be good on the way out. It's not going to end well. Yeah, so Doug's not here. You got Adam, you got Brian, and myself. Welcome back to the Cool Fireman Podcast. This is going to drop the week of New Year's. So, congratulations for making it to the end of the year. Boys, it's the 5th, and we are past. Yeah, I just want to make sure. I just looked at my calendar. I'm like, I think I'm right.
So that's what I was looking at. I was like, what's the day again?
So, Happy New Year's, boys. And I don't have that. We don't have that much. It's towards the end of the year. We got a lot going on, whether you're doing family stuff or work stuff, and you are feeling the heaviness of the end of 2025. That is normal. That is normal. The three of us are here talking to you today. Like, okay, we're feeling it too. Brian's got a frog in his throat. Adam's been sick for like 3.5 weeks.
I missed Christmas. Days before and days after, I missed it all. In bed.
Yeah. And dude, it's been the greatest week for me because I was able to trade off Christmas, like I said in the last week's episode, and we had Christmas Eve off. We worked the 4896, and so we swapped the day. I worked Tuesday last week, and I haven't worked since. And so I go back to work tomorrow for 72 because I'm paying back my trade on New Year's Day. And that was just absolutely amazing. But you know how you go on a vacation and sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation? That's kind of how I'm feeling, folks. I've been off for 5 or 6, however many days it is. And it's been great because I've hung out with my family. I've been waking up, doing breakfast, and
it's been full.
And it's been really good.
The cup overflowed.
Yeah. But we got a lot going on at work. We got a lot coming up at work. And so it's just, you're that's always kind of weighing on your mind. Even though you're at home, you're still kind of worried about work. And maybe there's people out there listening that can totally shut it off, which I completely envy you because I cannot. I have my and this is like perfectly ties in, Adam and I. We haven't even done housekeeping yet, but this perfectly ties in what we've been talking about the last few weeks is just, your emotional bandwidth. And like I have my work email set up on my phone. And so I check my emails all the time. I hate that little red dot with the number in it. I can't stand it. I'd rather have anything else than that. And so I clear my emails probably 10 times a day, if not more. And if I see a work email in there and there's somebody asking me a question or something, like I have to answer, I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy being there for people genuinely, but we've been asking, and it is true that you got to ask yourself, like, is it impacting your home life? So it's impacted me. I'm tired, man. I got to go to work for 72 hours tomorrow. So how was your Christmases, boys? How did it all shake out?
Like I said, I slept through it. I was up maybe at 15 minutes. And then I slept for about 5. And then I got up for 15 minutes, slept for another 5, and Christmas was over.
Oh, that's sad.
But
that's okay. There'll be more.
Slept so good, and then the past 48 hours, the fever dreams have been horrible. So that's 5 minutes of sleep, 45 minutes being awake because the fever dream shook me. In my dreams,
what about
you have some weird feet.
What about you, Brian?
Well, I did not have quite that. It was a less crazy Christmas for us. I was so excited. My niece came over. I think I've shared this before. She's a paramedic, so she was off. She wasn't working shift work that day. I was able to cook a big breakfast. And I was able to talk to her. She's joining the fire academy. So I'm super stoked. I haven't shared that with y'all, but she's joining the fire academy. And I have mentioned here on the show before, Eastern North Carolina is a little different. There's EMS and then there's fire. In a lot of our organizations, there are some blended fire and medics. She had joined one of the volunteer departments close by us, one of my best friends is chief of. And so she's kind of caught the fire bug, and she knows just how marketable, I guess is the best way to say, that can make her. And she's an adrenaline junkie. This is the lady who jumps out of an airplane. She was a Peace Corps member, went to Africa, loves traveling the world. And so I'm just so proud of her, of what she's doing. So anyways, with all my craziness of my schedule, I don't always get to see her because of my schedule and her schedule. So we were able to bond together for a couple of hours. And then we had planned to visit some family members. Come to find out, they were like Adam. They were sick. So we scaled some stuff back. We had some family members come over. But the big family get-together didn't happen this year. And, this sounds bad to say, but, I was okay with it. I didn't feel rushed. I felt like I was able to make those moments matter more, if that makes sense, with the folks that I was around. And so it wasn't like formalities. I think somebody said it. I don't remember if it was Adam on a podcast or on another podcast I was listening to, but it was like you almost feel obligated in some of those big settings to go around and talk to people. And you can't always just have those true conversations as that one aunt or uncle that you only see one time a year. And, it's awkward. So this was really an opportunity to truly connect with him.
It was after the last podcast, me and him stayed on for a good while.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about
we did
the formalities. And he sitting there and mocked me off all the stuff I had to do. And guess what? Super flu came through the house and I didn't have to do nothing. My family got to stay home.
Super flu. Who calls it super flu?
No, it's
super flu. Where's Doug? We need a solid
than normally's going on right now.
We need a solid Trump.
And I feel like that term should be on a Marvel movie. The super flu came through.
No, it's from Trump, dude.
It
was the greatest flu.
It was the greatest flu of all time.
The best flu. It was beautiful. So I'm sorry to hear that, but Brian, yes, that is not a bad thing. Quality over quantity, you know what I mean? That's a good thing to be able to hang out and really hang with your family members that you don't get to see all the time. That's the one thing I love about the holidays is it typically brings people together. I got to see my uncle, who I don't see very often. They came over on Christmas Eve and had dinner and stuff, and that was awesome. Him and his girlfriend came over. And so that was fun. And I've spent my whole life with him, growing up as a kid. And I'd mentioned in one of our previous podcasts, it's one of my favorite things about the holidays is going out to the street and throwing the Nerf football. You know what I mean? And breaking windows and shit. It's super fun. Sorry, Rhett. Anyway, let's get to a little bit of housekeeping.
Folks, it's time for housekeeping.
So happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. We talked about our words for 2026. Do you have your word? Let us know what your word is. Make a comment. We want to know so that we could talk about it in our next podcast. Coming up, this is not in the housekeeping, but it just came up off the top of my head. January has been coined Cancer Awareness Month for the fire department and for first responders and such. So we might try to get. I have a network for the Firefighter Cancer Support Network that we might have on the podcast. So that may be kind of cool. So that might come up. And then, Happy New Year's. Patreon is up. Everybody check on the Patreon. We still have subscribers. So yeah, we're looking to kind of gain a community there to be able to do some behind the scenes stuff and some giveaways and fun stuff. But we really can't do that until we have like, a pretty good little subscriber base. But that's okay. Slow and go. It's all good. We are the hare, not the rabbit. Or wait, no, we are the turtle, not the hare. There you go. And then merch. We still have our merch store up. Nothing new in the merch store. So if you have been there and you didn't like anything, it hasn't changed yet. So
send us an email. Tell us what you want. We'll get it.
There you go. Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
If I can inject real quick, Matt and I had talked about this. We understand the timing of this. These things like the Patreon and our merch store. A lot of times we understand that folks this time of year were buying personal Christmas presents. Well, I say personal. They're buying Christmas and things like that. And so we understand that maybe now is not necessarily the right time. And it's okay. We understand that, there will be a right time. Just don't forget us, right? So when you, now that you've got that Christmas cash in your wallet, now would be a good time to show us some love. After you've cleared the cash out from Aunt Betty or your grandma. So now's the time to do that, right? Get that Christmas
Grandma
cash
got run over by a reindeer. Yeah.
We'd love if you show us some love.
Sorry if Grandma passed away. That's terrible. All right. Sponsors. Unky's Seasoning. We are sponsored by Unky Seasoning. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Very good. Let's run a promo for Unky Seasoning.
From the firehouse to your house, Unky's Seasoning packs bold, firehouse-tested flavor into every meal. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or just sprinkling it on your favorite snacks, our blends turn everyday eats into unforgettable bites. Pick your flavor, shake it on, and taste why it's firehouse approved. Go to unkeyseasoning.com.
All right. Love that. Love it so much.
I love you guys.
And Tom of the Burn Box. The Burn Box. The last one we got. Do you guys remember? I can't remember. Anyway, it should be coming up here pretty soon.
Spanners and stuff like that.
Yeah. We love Tom of the Burn Box. Let's go ahead and run a promo for Tom.
Brought to you by the Burn Box, the #1 firefighter subscription box. The Burn Box celebrates firefighter products and firefighter-owned and operated businesses. Start today and receive a monthly box of firefighter apparel, gear, and tools. Check them out at theburnbox.com.
Okay, moment of silence. I don't have anything new. We did a couple of annual anniversary deaths, Robert Tolbert, and we did Javen Settles last week. But I don't have anybody this week, and we don't have anybody in the emails, in the snail mails. So let's just go ahead and do a moment of silence for all those first responders, firefighters, and everybody else that may have passed away, gave the ultimate sacrifice over this past week.
Amen.
Also,
Well said.
I meant to say it right before that. I know we were going quick. Just more of a thoughts and prayer. It's not a LODD or nothing like that. But Sam from Fire Tech, his dog. I can't remember the dog's name. Slips my mind.
Yeah.
It's not doing very well.
Oh no.
It's got Lyme disease. So they're doing everything they can, throwing everything at it. And I just want everybody to think about it. So that's all. It's a hard for him. Everyone's like, well, it's a dog. It's him and his wife's only child is that dog. And that dog is the sweetest dog. You've probably seen him. A lot of people see him at fire conferences that Sam and his lovely wife go to. And Slick. Right? It's late in the evening for me, and I've been sick.
Anyway.
I'm so sorry I can't remember the name. But
hey,
it's not doing well. So, anyways, that's it.
We're thinking about you, Sam. We're thinking about you. Unky, talk to us about the topic tonight. So we got some sort of correspondence. Can you just briefly give us what the correspondence was?
You're asking a lot. Here we go. Okay. We had a listener, Jeff, reach out to me to this actual day. And first start off with let me know he bought my book, Stepping Up, Stepping Out. All right. And
Shameful.
I'm just saying how the conversation started, my man.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, and he has a request for us. Is it possible to have a tabletop discussion on ICS? He's talking. Yeah, he's talking to incident command, to staffing, to staffing, to safety, job duties, and all whether on a large scale commercial or small scale residential. That's about it. So he wants to talk about ICS.
I think he wants us to cover everything, what we think about ICS in general, right?
I like that.
That's the way I kind of took it when I read the screenshots.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we can't talk about.
Told you, Jeff,
we can't talk, and I'm sure he's like listening right now, and he's like, I didn't want we didn't have to talk about the intricacies in every single position and what each position does and all that. But
it's a good topic.
I think the overall encompassing feeling about ICS is follow it, follow it, do it. It's funny that this came up because we had a fire last week in a chimney, and I was working for roof, and and I went outside to ICS, and because there's different circumstances as to why I did this, but I should have been talking to roof as a worker. We were pulling this chimney apart, and the fire got in between the stack and the actual chimney, right? In the inside, in the members. So we started to like hit this drywall, not the drywall, but the stucco, and trying to do it. And I'm trying to give updates, and I'm talking to IC instead of roof. And so at the end, my chief was like, "Hey, who were you? And who are you working for?" And I said, "I was working for a roof." And he said, "Why were you talking to me?" And I was like, because he was right there, and I didn't want to have to talk to him through him to you. But at the end of the day, I learned something, and he said, it's just so much better for the organization of everybody that's involved in that call. You can't think just you. Like, you can't think just this conversation between one person and the IC. Everybody that's managing people on a fire ground or whatever it is are listening to that. And it just helps the whole organization, the whole communication as a whole. And so what you did by bypassing let's just say your leader, if you will, like I was working for Roof as an engine company, and I just was bypassing him. And so maybe he was hearing it, maybe he wasn't, but he was in charge of what I was doing ultimately, and I was talking straight. I went bypassed him right to the IC. So I'll just start this conversation off with just follow it. It's important. And I kind of learned we don't run a lot of incidents like that. We've talked about this in the podcast. And I think a lot of people will agree that we don't run a lot of fires anymore. Like, we don't run a lot of big incidences where you're going to use the ICS system to its greatest capacity. And I will say that it's a good conversation to have about ICS because it's so important. And we've talked about initial attack on this podcast too before. And it's like the first 5 minutes, of any call is very important for the entirety of the call because it's the foundation of it. It's how you set up IC, where you set it up, where your rigs are parked, whose initial attack, and making sure that they're all dialed in with the ICS structure as far as whether they're Division Alpha, whether Division 1, Division 2, whether they're interior or roof, exposures, all that kind of stuff, and to get those lined out at the beginning of a call is very important. And then it's very important to keep that intact. Yeah. Keep ICS intact throughout the entire call. It's very important.
It looks great on paper. And for you,
I think Cal Fire,
stay on top of it. You have had good ears, documentations, and good communications. If anybody's muffled or have a mask on, right there, that's when your handicap starts.
Yeah. From what? Like communication wise?
The mask. Yeah. If you're inside, the loud noises, the person in the mask. So you better, being outside, you better have perfect hearing and quiet around you. Things start snowballing. On paper, it is perfect. It's a great way to run it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
There's no better
I
answer,
agree.
I don't think. But it's just, you got to have a team. I think you need a teammate to make sure this communications came through to you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Adam.
Okay.
So
It's all coming back to me on this ICS now, and I got some stories.
So you don't function as a transport unit. So let's go back to a vehicle accident with entrapment. It's a complex incident. You've got fire, EMS, and law all working on that scene. Okay. How well does a unified command work for those other agencies? Kind of to what Matt was saying. Do you find...
If
Okay.
it's on base, we do transport, so we're transporting ourselves.
Sure.
In my district, we're calling the city of Virginia Beach. So if we're getting their EMS, if it's something big, significant, they're taking care of it. If it's not so big and significant, it falls apart real fast. If it's not ALS, they don't care. Our police, they're ridiculous on base. They get in the way. They try to get command together. We tell them the command is at this building. We are set up, blah, blah, blah. Then police will be like, I'm still looking for fire, blah, blah, 15, 20 minutes later. I'm on scene. I established command. I'm still looking for fire. Dispatch told you 20 minutes ago. Location is this part of the base. This is where you got to be at. This is, where you got to go. It gets a little confusing.
I guess.
Because they're constantly changing out, at least on the military side. We can work and train with these people. Within about 6, 7, 8 months, boom, they're off to another base.
I guess what I was looking for was, whoever the ultimate IC is, let's say it's a hazmat incident, right? And you've established a medical branch. Kind of to what Matt was saying, we've had instances in the past. We here on the eastern part of North Carolina where that medical branch will go straight to dispatch for the resource request, and it's like, no, that's supposed to go through the IC, because that's how it's supposed to function. Or the same thing for law. Dispatch, this is law 308. Be advised, I'm shutting down this road. Da 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 da. And it's like, that's supposed to go through law ops. Right. So, and then law ops is supposed to send that to the IC, kind of to what Matt was saying. And I appreciate the viewer who gave you that. I think it was Jeff, right? Because I think that's where he was really asking, like, from the most basic incident that we run to the most complex, like, does it really play out the way that it should? So you arrive on scene, dispatch, this is engine 1. I'm on scene of 123 Main Street. I'll be establishing Main Street command. And it's a medical call. We would do that for decades post 9/11. Dispatch, this is Main Street command. Be advised, mark patient contact time. Dispatch, this is Main Street command. Can you get me with the EMS unit en route? And so they would contact them. And that's we didn't have a need to establish this is medical operations, whatever. But you level up your ICS based off of the complexity of the incident. Mm-hmm. So then when you get to that hazmat incident, you do have to have a staging officer. You do have to have a law group. You do have to have a medical group. You do have to have a hazmat group. You do have to have a decon group. You have to have those, kind of to what Matt was saying. Matt's example in my mind was kind of that middle of the road where you predominantly have fire. It's not necessarily a unified command. It is fire's scene. And so, you'll have Main Street command to roof operations, or whatever. And so I think we are holistically in emergency services. We are probably, I'm going to say, on the small scale, we're 80% getting it right. And on the large scale, we're probably 40 to 60% right. And I say 40 to 60 because in our rural areas, we're probably 40%. In our big cities, we're probably 60 in the EOC, but 40% on the street, right? And what I mean by that is if you've ever worked a complex incident, my voice is really going out, so I apologize. But and this is where I want to switch to Matt. Matt's worked a lot of wildfires, and you see these IMT teams, these incident management teams that come in. Your boots on the ground, you'll go in for these complex incidents where you go deploy into these groups, Matt. How well does that ICS model work on those? And I'm not talking about at the EOC. I'm talking about boots in the ground, trenches where you're at, where you go for 24 hours and you're by yourself. How does that work?
I think it works great. I mean, there was an episode where I talked about wildland fires, and so you brought that up. That's a huge incident, right? I mean, like I've been on a wildland fire that was like 500,000-600,000 acres. I guess like huge. And so how do you organize that? And that's what it is. I mean, you have your command staff, your general staff, which is ops, finance, logistics, all that kind of stuff, planning. And there's literally a city as a base camp, and they have tents set up that say planning, logistics, comms, and everybody reports to somebody. And like that's the greatest thing about ICS is that it can be expanded and retracted at any moment, really. I mean, it obviously it gets harder as it becomes more complex, but I'll tell you, just being boots on the ground and being like a peon in this whole ICS, because I've never been a part of an incident management team, but if we have a wildland fire in town, then I could be IC until my chief gets there, and then I will become boots on the ground and become a division. But when you're on a huge, complex incident, it's crazy because I'm just a captain. I'm an engine boss. So you're
a soldier in the middle of a war.
Right. Yeah. And there's five engines, which makes up a strike team with a chief, right? And our chief is a strike team leader. So now then you go up from there, and now you have the division soup. And then you go up from there and you have a branch soup. And then you go up from there and there's operations. And so like literally, if my fireman we're hiking along and we're 2 miles into a hose lay or whatever, and he twists his ankle and can't walk, it literally starts there to the strike team leader, to the division. And then they do have what they call a 9-line, and there's a way to do it. Like you get to, I can't remember the exact, not operations. It's, I can't think of it right now. I haven't been on there in a while, but anyways, I got to refresh. So, but there's a way to do it, and it's all, it's like chain of command kind of type stuff, but it works very well because it's all set in place. They have a certain amount of ambulances, and this is, at 0700, they have a brief. At 1900, another brief. 07, 19. Every 12 hours, they have a briefing. Hey, how many ambulances? How many RIT teams? And how many line medics? And you have somebody go down. It's amazing. I mean, you're talking like 500,000 acres, right? Multiple roads and multiple basically dozer lines that we've gone into the middle of the wilderness, and they can find, it's easier now because of GPS and things like that. What3Words? Have you guys heard of What3Words?
No.
So What3Words is really cool. And people are probably listening going, what the hell is that? So we've started to insert What3Words into our remote rescues. So I'll kind of go away from the wildland fire for a second, but if like we have a lot of trails in our hills, and people will fall off their bikes and DFO right there in the middle of the trail, someone will call 911. When they call 911, it triangulates their GPS right down to like 3 feet or something stupid. And if you go to what3words.com right now, every part of this country has 3 words. And I want to say it's like 3 square feet. So every 3 square feet. So your front door, Adam, has 3 words, right? That's associated with it. So if you go to your front door right now on What3Words on the app, you can find your house. So the way that we integrate it with us, with work, is it'll automatically give us the What3Words, and we can find where that person is, lickety split. I mean, it's so fast. It's awesome.
Everybody listening just went off and went to go to What3Words. Thank you, Matt. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I know. So what 3 words? But have you guys heard of Avenza? So Avenza is a mapping app. And so Avenza, you can import maps. So we have three default maps for our town. Basically like north, central, and south, if you will. It gets a little more intricate than that, but I don't need to go any more into that. And so I'll pull up which one I know it is because I know where the trail is. And then I'll put what 3 words in there and bam, it shows me exactly where they're at on the trail. And that gives me an idea of how I'm going to, get to that part of the trail. So what 3 words is really cool, but it can work in the wildland setting too. Cause somebody's hurt, you give them what 3 words, boom. The helicopter knows exactly, instead of going, are you ready for coordinates? Negative
1.3854
180 point decimal.
Wait, are you in there? Were you talking?
Is there a decimal or is it? Are you doing the decimal or the degrees? What?
Ignore Adam.
So it's been pretty cool. But anyway, I know I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, but yes, in a very complex wildland scene, ICS is freaking. It's imperative, man. I think it's important. Cal Fire actually came up with the ICS system, the way that it works.
I think at that massive a scale, you're talking multiple cities, 10 plus cities and towns and counties that are working together, let alone the state and the federal resources coming in at one time. That is fantastic. But like at the local level, and I would like just go back and not apologize, but like when I work with the city, when we have a mass casualty, I seen, especially the city of Virginia Beach, they're mostly EMS is volunteer, but they will show up and they have some paid staff. But if you go, every year we have a mass casualty drill with them just for our air show. And I see them come together for that at the air show and for the drill. Absolutely amazing. The only faults I see is when somebody else puts their hands into their webs. You just have to give it to them. They're like, you are EMS, because that's how they train, how they play, how they have all the equipment. Where they have 700 trucks, you have 3. Why are you? Because you have 3 trucks, you got to put your hands in it. Just give them your 3 trucks and let them report to you. That's it. They follow the same instructions as we do. And it's also the same way with really any of the cities I deal with. If we need a technical rescue team, be it a hazmat tech team, high angle, ropes, whatever, when they come in, that's your division. 100% you.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm going to do is, what kind of snacks you like? You like soda or Gatorade? I'm here, but because they come with their battalion chief. They send a full alarm. We said we got a hazmat incident, blah, blah, blah. They don't care what we have on scene. They're bringing their own people to protect their own people. I'm 100% fine with that. Previous retired chiefs would get upset about it. No, I only need your hazmat truck. No. And battalion chiefs said, then we're not coming. If I can't bring my whole entire team, I'm not coming. You're going to have to ask another city, and they're going to tell you the same. That's what I want. I want people that play together, train together. Like them or not, the city, they can get the job done. I'm going to go let them do the job. And then they can report to me back as I see, and I report them.
Yeah.
And if I give them guidelines, their chief is right beside me. Hey, these guidelines, watch out for this, that. And that's fine. But
it just depends on the jurisdictions too, Adam. I mean, you're talking middle of the country. It might do it a lot different than the West Coast. On the West Coast, we have mutual aid agreements that if we need a structure fire response, that comes with 4 engines, a truck, and a chief, and an ambulance. So that's what it is. And we don't have trucks. And I've told you guys that before. I don't have a truck. So we get the truck from Big Brother. So when we got that structure fire last week, it was truck 22 from Orange County Fire. They come on in and everything's great. But I mean, if you got jurisdictions that are saying, like, if you ask for X, Y, and Z, and they're only willing to give you Y, that's a problem with your chiefs. Like, figure it out. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it just doesn't work that way here. You know what I mean? And but you know,
you want to send me in the Army? Send me the Army. I've only asked
Well, the one thing that I'm like happy that you said was I thought you were going to talk about like how you were going to talk about volunteers and how they didn't want to really play by the ICS game. But when you went the other way, I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought that was good because I didn't know which way you're going to go with that because like we don't have, and I've talked about this before. We don't have volunteers here. Like we're pretty much all.
It's all about your area. Between your area and my area, we have nothing but pay people around here. The city of Suffolk has choked out EMS, choked them out, took them off the CAD, wrongfully had ALS come 45 minutes away when they had ALS 5 minutes away, but wouldn't call them because they're volunteers. Virginia Beach, they are strictly ambulance rides. Ambulance companies are volunteers. Can they do stuff better? Of course they can. But they have ALS on all their engines. And when not all ALS ambulances are volunteers, but their volunteer zone cars are paid, but they'll come and ride. Or if we need ALS on our trucks, they'll come on our base, they'll get on our trucks, and they'll ride in with us.
Yeah. Well, let's get back on the rails of ICS.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You got something, Brian.
No, I just wanted to go back and say.
I've been on a ship fire and been lost and reported multiple times that Mayday, I need help. We have lost. We cannot find our way. Give us our coordinates where we need to go. We're at this location. And within 2 breaths, report to room 11234. Okay. Reporting 1234. No. Report to 3555. Copy. We're going to 355. No. 8829. I'm like, you're sending us all over the ship. And we got lost, and it was a drill. But yeah, they had no idea that we were lost anytime we replied back multiple times. We are lost. We're staying here with ship crews at this location. What location you need to go to? This one, 2, 3, or 4. You need to go to 5. We went to that location. There is nothing there. This. Why are you over there? This is the same guy on the radio. It's not like I'm talking to 5 different people. So you do have problems like that. People. Oh, anyways, that's an internal thing.
Yeah,
Glad I'm glad he's now got promoted.
So I want to go back to the comment that you made, Matt, about ICS for career versus volunteer. And I will say, when I served as county fire marshal and I had 20 some departments that I worked with, they get it. ICS 110%. Post 9/11, when ICS was mandated and you had all this FEMA grant funding, post 9/11 that was tied to you had to attend ICS 1, 2, 7, and 8, and then there was a big push for 300 and 400. They get it. At least in my communities, they get it. And I've seen it play out time and time again. And in fact, in our state, departments are even graded in their ISO segment to make sure that they do ICS functions. It's a question. And so I don't think that they operate that way. Now, can I speak to, and I'm not picking on the Midwest or whatever, but in the heart of America where they're still running with homemade fire trucks and things of that nature, I don't know. But for departments in Eastern North Carolina with modern firefighting equipment, but staffed by volunteers, no, they get it. And in fact, there's a lot of departments that will run circles in ICS around some of our even career departments. So I would say that paid volunteer has no bearings on the functionality of ICS or even those types of tactical situations.
In your area.
In my area, 110%.
And I'm not here to hit anything. I'm just saying that it could be different anywhere, right? I mean,
yeah, and that's what I said.
I'm genuinely interested in what it's like to be a volunteer firefighter over there and how they integrate the ICS system, because are they at the firehouse as much as we is the training at the same level? I don't know. I'm seriously got those are the questions that we would have, at least on the West Coast.
I will say this. We've got some departments, and I'll brag on North Carolina here. We've got some departments in North Carolina that are accredited as volunteer departments. We have departments that require you. It's not the good old boy, hey, I know your brother. You've been down here for 5 generations, so you're the captain. They require fire officer in order to get eligible for captain, stuff like that. They understand the magnitude of the T-shirt. Right? Like they understand that this is about saving lives and protecting property. And you don't get it because your daddy and your granddaddy was here. Those functionalities are there, and the ICS functions are put in place because people died and got hurt, and there needed to be a system put in place. But yeah, to that point, I can't speak to other parts of the country. So maybe that's our call to action. How well does ICS work in your communities? Don't call out your department name, but, well, let's put it this way. On a scale of 0 to 10, how do you think ICS is working in the fire service? That'll be our call to action. Again, for the magic clip, on a scale of 0 to 10, how well does ICS work in the fire service today? Post 9/11, 0 to 10. Let us know.
Yeah, and if you work for a volunteer department or you work paid, and there's a volunteer department next to you, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say, oh, don't be nasty. It's social media, so people are going to say what they want to say. But I don't know. I'm like, honestly, I'm interested to hear about how that works. I just don't know. I'm not in that type of system, so it's just, it's different for me. So that's all I got.
You can inspect what you expect, right? So if you're training with them and you hold accountability to them, that they will do it. And if you are a chief officer and they won't do it, then if you respond or allow agencies to respond to you who do not do it, then you are either A, assuming liability for your personnel going there or for the people that are coming. And I'll just leave it at that as a chief officer. So you should inspect what you expect, as Doug says. So if you're expecting to perform ICS functions and you train with those chief officers and they're like, yeah, we're not doing that. I'm not gonna have roof operations. I'm not gonna have staging officer. I don't know about a water supply officer. Then you're setting yourself up for that liability when something goes wrong. And that's my soapbox for that.
I love it. Hey, and I think that what you're ringing out is accountability at that point.
100%.
Yeah, take accountability.
And it's not like that it's not like, I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but there's enough podcasts like this and enough free online training for ICS right now that there's no excuse to not set this kind of training up for free in your organization. And I go back, God rest his soul, to somebody like Jay Lyons. When we interviewed him and he talked about being the change in the organization, right? He talked about that. He said when he showed up at his volunteer firehouse and, he started the conversation because of the generations before who wasn't really willing to do that. And again, that's North Carolina, but he was the group that changed the culture in his fire department. So I say that in the context of you can be the change.
Absolutely. And if you're trying to figure out, and that was perfectly said there, Brian, about all the resources that are online nowadays with podcasts and online tutorial, whatever, like classes that you can take that are even free, that you can learn all this stuff and then bring it to your volunteer department, bring it to your full-time career. If you're a new officer, that's a great way to spend your probation as an officer. I don't know if you guys do that. We are on like a 1-year probation. And we do a lot of classes or drills as officers for the whole shift. And we only have 4 stations. So we all get together in the afternoon with a cup of coffee and we do like an hour of training. And that probationary officer, captain, will put together some sort of drill. And what a perfect one is this, like, do ICS in the most basic sense. What is the general staff? What's the command staff? Like what's like a basic structure look like for you guys? And you could even use your own department as a example and throw those in there into your little, graph or whatever, not a graph, but just the structure. Throw your own department in there. And another thing is don't be afraid to, like have a little humility here and go to another fire department that's near you and say, hey, what do you guys do? Like, we don't train together, but that's what the ICS is like best for too, is common terminology. It allows different jurisdictions, just like you said, Brian, to come into even a unified command, but not even that, right? Let's just say my department, my jurisdiction has a fire. My chief is the IC, and I have a different jurisdiction or different fire department coming in. It's all the same. We've all learned the same thing, which keeps us so much safer. Put the wet stuff on the hot stuff. Exactly. But, as far as like interior or alpha division 1, 2, when is it appropriate to do all those things? And we don't have enough time during this episode or the next one to kind of break all that down. But there are classes out there that are 8 to 16 to 32 hours long that'll teach you all that great stuff. But don't be afraid to go to your neighboring fire departments and talk to their training chief or training captain, whoever it may be, and come up with some fun training. I don't know. It's definitely worth it. I mean, Jeff brought it up. It's a great topic. It's a great subject. We could talk about ICS for hours. Don't have hours. But it's a really good subject. It's all encompassing. I mean, we do it on medical aids at a very small level, and that very kind of like, it's not the, super formal. It's a very informal ICS structure we have on even medical aids, like you said, Brian. So it's a good topic.
And thank you for bringing up the what 3 words. So my 3 words. You can change.
Careful. But I just don't want you to like put your front door if you have everybody knows where you live.
Let's mark this. I'm marking on the clip so if you can maybe bleep it out. Okay. Living.
I'm not bleeping anything out.
Check that out.
Where does that send you, to the North Pole? So look it up. You guys know the brewery Stone Brewery?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a brewery called its name is Stone, and they're here in San Diego, but they are also on the East Coast now. They're huge. They're gigantic. They're a very big brewery. They made a beer called Fear Movie Lions, and it's based on What3Words. And if you put in Fear Movie Lions with periods in between all of the words, it'll bring you to I think it's like their East Coast, somewhere in New York, a brewery. So kind of fun. All right. Snail mail?
It's snail mail time.
It's snail mail time.
Snail mail time. I didn't get a chance to really look at a lot of snail mail, but I did want to shout out Colt. Colt had a really good, sometimes he said he was talking to Preston. To producer Preston, Rhett is the conscience of the Cool Fireman podcast. That's such a good way to say it. And then he said Merry Christmas.
Hey,
I love that guy.
We got a message from Rhett today. Speaking of Rhett.
Okay.
So Rhett's dad sent us a message, and you had actually said his dad, God love him, he's in his little booster seat, right? And his dad's listening to the podcast, and he's got his little phone up, and he's videotaping it, and it was about the time where somebody says a dirty word, and you go, sorry, Rhett, and he just grins. And he was like, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the guys, whatever. So Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, Rhett.
I love that. And Rhett, we do have a logo for a t-shirt, and it's in the works. That's all I can say. That it's going to get put onto a t-shirt. It says sorry, Rhett on it. And we'll see if we can't get that out. As soon as it goes into production, I'm going to personally send you one. So we'll try to get a youth size for you out to the new sorry, Rhett t-shirt. And then JTKI, I'm not sure. He says Rhett is a longtime listener and he's 6 years old. You got that right. A lot of people wished us Merry Christmas. I got a frog in my throat too. They wished us Merry Christmas, boys. Let me see if I can't get my comments going here again. So, Kenny, of course, we love Kenny from Operation Yellow Tape. He says, absolutely love this. So proud of you. This was on a comment on a clip where Adam was talking about his book. And then, of course, everybody loves it. Anki, you said Gary Busey is the songbird of our generation.
Yes, he is.
We had a really nice comment here from Raul Mayer. It says, loved working the overtime for sick ass firemen and retired with tons of sick time paid out to me in retirement. Sure. Thank you. I have so many great comments on that one post.
So many.
If you haven't seen our latest TikTok post, you should go see that one. That was fun. As the captain on my shift. So this is from, I don't know how to say his word or his name. Lally Birdie? I'm not sure. Anyways, he said, as the captain on his shift, I get each member a gift with no expectation of a gift in return. The others do not exchange gifts either. Probably easier for me coming from a shift size of 6. I love that. You know what? I love it. You know, after we talked about gift exchange and awkwardness and all that stuff, I kind of thought about it. And a lot of people, not a lot, but we got a couple comments like, yeah, I just got my crew gifts, you know, just as like an appreciation of like, hey, thanks for working your ass off for me. And I thought that was really cool. So I'm not going to say I wasn't going to do that, but I do have gifts for my crews. And I think it's a great thing. So a little bit of snail mail for you boys. Nice. Anything else you guys got for the good of the cause?
I would like to make my big announcement. If you remember last week, I said I had a big announcement.
Get 3 to 5
for 2026.
3 to 5.
3 to 5. What?
Where's the tape?
So,
6, 7.
So, if you watch last week's episode, we talked about a word of the year. I picked prioritize. I said I was letting some things go, and I had some new things coming.
He's single, ladies.
Part of the reason my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Wait, what? But I had mentioned that I had some things coming in
Spit it out, fucking will you?
And I'm sorry. So
Junior,
today, Junior.
Today, Junior.
I'm talking to Nick Hammond.
I've got this big.
Come on, man.
So the Nick Hammond one got me.
So very big. I know you all can't wait for me to say it, but it's huge.
It's huge. Absolutely huge. So, anyways, we have launched a North Carolina only fire service based podcast. It's called the Carolina Fire Watch. It's in partnership with the North Carolina State Firefighters Association. Super stoked about it. We just recorded an episode earlier today. It'll be a monthly show for the 56,000 firefighters across North Carolina. I'm honored to be able to do that, to be the voice of the fire service here in North Carolina. It all stemmed from our visit at Safer and the Cool Fireman podcast, to the listener base that listens here in North Carolina, to folks like Jeff, who engaged with Adam, who want to know more and who want to engage more. Thank you. And if you are North Carolina and you are so inclined, please go follow us on those socials. Keep listening here and listen there as well. So
who brought my name up?
There you go.
Who said my name?
Say my name.
Maybe Adam will be lucky enough to be on Brian's podcast.
We'll see. We'll see if he makes the cut.
Yeah, right.
I don't think you gotta get at least one more bugle. At least.
Yeah. Nah.
Swing. All right. Way to go. Congratulations, Brian. I hope that you have more listeners than us.
I'm so glad to finally figure it out. I'm just talking about in the last 5 minutes. Jeez.
What?
Good.
Today, Junior. I did it, Ricky. Don't worry, he knows what I'm talking about.
What I'm saying. What I'm saying is what.
Roll it out. Holy Toledo.
If you don't go outside,
Roll it, GG.
Roll it, GG.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!